Welcome back. Welcome back. You're watching a Money Monday edition of Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. I'm John Tobacco. Yeah, we're right down here in Manhattan, in Lower Manhattan in New York City. And right down the street, just, I don't know, maybe a 3-wood away is the New York Stock Exchange. And the New York Stock Exchange is on fire as we speak. I don't know if you just saw the fire engine go by, but I hope the building itself isn't. But the market is bursting through 800. Hopefully it'll pop through 1,000 today. That'll push a lot of technical indicators into a different mode. It could turn some models and algorithms around where that could lead to, without any more craziness of fear, fright, and hysteria, the markets could be on their way to much greener pastures, and I mean green like 28 and 30,000. So we'll keep our eye on that. You got to keep your eye on this guy because he's here with us whenever we can get him, and he's also the host of Politically Direct on Insider NJ. He's a PhD. And Fernando Uribe joins us, also a member of faculty at Bergen Community College. Fernando, thank you so much for joining us again.
Thanks, Sean.
You are all redded out today. You're looking good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, just try to keep up with you, John.
Oh,
with your fashion sense.
I don't have a red suit. That's nice, man. You look good, kid.
Thank you.
So, your views to me represent like a big cross section because you're from Jersey. You're on the academic campuses. You talk to people a lot of different political stripes and colors and stuff. Give me your thoughts. Give me at least your forecast. Now we see Biden is apparently the front runner now. Buttigieg is gone. Steyer's gone. They're culling the field here. What's your outlook for tomorrow, Super Tuesday?
Well, John, first of all, thanks for having me back again. And, looking at the results this Saturday from South Carolina, really, there weren't a lot of surprises with the former vice president coming out as dominantly as he did in that primary result. And as we all know, yesterday, former South Bend, Indiana Mayor Pete Buttigieg suspended his campaign. And it's pretty much rumored that a lot of his votes will be consolidated to support the former vice president. And again, if the fix isn't in to deny Bernie the nomination, then I don't know what more you need in terms of conclusive evidence. But that's what's happening right now, John. And tomorrow, listen, during Super Tuesday, I think the former vice president is looking to try to win as many states as he can. Bernie, to his credit, has a great ground game. But as I say it all the time, whether it's on your show here or on my weekly podcast, again, it just seems like a lot of Bernie supporters either just slept through basic math or econ, whether it was like in high school or even during their college days. And I think that they can't really defend these policies that Bernie's trying to put forth. I mean, John, think about it. We're talking about $100 trillion over the next 10 years. That's what Bernie's proposing.
Bad. 10 trillion a year.
That's all. No, 100 trillion. Yeah,
100 trillion
yeah, absolutely.
A year. Not bad.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
You're gonna get everything for free, all right? You're gonna get your school's gonna be free. Your healthcare is gonna be free. You're gonna pay off your student debt. But then they're going to take every cotton picking nickel out of your paycheck, and out of $100, you're going to wind up with 10. So everything's not free if they ration the money to you. I mean, why aren't people doing this math?
Well, John, John, this is the problem. It's whenever we hear these sort of, talking points from the left about, oh, well, it's, government-funded healthcare or government-funded tuition-free college or government-funded, universal, daycare. It's taxpayer funded, and that's what people don't get. And I understand that healthcare are important elements about our economy. And listen, John, again, a healthier population is a better population. There's no dispute about that. But when government runs anything, we all know that it doesn't run it efficiently. It doesn't run the VA efficiently, even though under this presidency, the VA has been much more sort of less bureaucratic and much more in terms of helping our veterans with health care. But look at the post office. That's not even run efficiently. Now we want to trust Washington bureaucrats, both Republicans and Democrats, to run our health care, which is fundamentally probably like almost an eighth of our economy. I'm sorry, I can't trust the government to do that. They've shown me no precedent whatsoever that I can trust them. Why trust them now?
I want to back up for a minute on that great point right there. And I want to back up on that one and say, we still haven't got a final vote tally out of Iowa. Okay? They keep going, they're doing a recount and all this stuff, right? Now, I don't know, but I had this theory going back to Iowa. A bunch of former Hillary folks own this app, the Shadow app, that the state of Iowa used. And I thought it was really, really suspicious that Mayor Pete paid them 60 grand, and all of a sudden the app failed and they couldn't add up the votes quick enough. And then I just thought it was a way to muddy the waters from the beginning for Bernie so that there was no clear-cut winner coming out of Iowa. You think all of this now, because all of a sudden now, okay, Biden popped in, there it is, Pete can't get the black vote, so let's get him out. And I feel like this is shaping up for Hillary to be with Joe Biden.
Well, what's historic about the fact that it shows that Buttigieg won the Iowa caucus, and this will be the first time since 1992, John, that the winner of Iowa isn't going to be the presumptuous, nominee for a political party. This is historic, and I think that it sort of shows about the disarray that the Democratic Party is in, whether it's looking at Buttigieg, whether it's looking at Biden, whether it's looking at someone like Elizabeth Warren, who is floundering, like her campaign is running on fumes. I think tomorrow is going to be a big indicator about where the Democratic Party stands, and in terms of their support. And listen, the fact that Bernie's going to head the ticket most likely, that's going to hurt a lot of Democrats. Maybe not New Jersey and New York, where there are sort of liberal, sort of safe spaces, right?
Stayed in the wool, yeah,
exactly,
wokies.
Electorally.
Wokies. Stayed in the woke.
Exactly, but guess what? In the South and Midwest, there are vulnerable Democrats that are looking at Bernie at the top of the ticket, and they could be looking at their own sort of self-preservation, and it's not looking good for them. And I think that overall, this could spell doom for the Democratic Party come this November. And Democrats don't want to see it, at least establishment ones, because it seems like they're trying to sort of placate Bernie supporters because they're so loud and there's a sort of like vehement, like online mob mentality with them. But at the end of the day, Democrats know that if Bernie leads the ticket, it's certain doom for them. And again, it's amazing to me where they're going to be seeing a lot of inevitable losses both in the House and in the Senate coming up this November, John.
So yesterday on the Sunday shows, we just talked about it a little earlier, Joe Biden appeared on Fox News with Chris Wallace, and he called him Chuck. I don't know if you saw that. He referred to
Well, he has brain lapses all the time, yeah.
I'm saying he's the front runner is limping, if you ask me, because he can't even remember people's names. But in the midst of this, he's taking time out to bash Trump on the corona stuff, and I don't understand it. He should be trumpeting his big win. Take a look at this. Tell me what you think.
We knew this was coming back as far as January. They didn't even begin to prepare the testing kits. I mean, this is something that's kind of elementary. We talked about testing kits. We're now going to get them. Well, I don't want to talk down the possibility of us being able to do this well. But, the idea that Donald Trump said just several days ago this was a Democratic hoax, and what in God's name is he talking about? What in God's name is he talking about?
He wasn't calling the virus a hoax. He was calling the news and the left politicizing the virus the hoax, right?
It's typical left-wing hysteria. And it's interesting because did the media sort of go after President Obama with the swine flu? Because that was quite a pervasive, pandemic that occupied the political climate. And it just seems, again, John, that it's the perpetual hypocrisy by the left and the mainstream liberal media that covers up for Democrats. I mean, they've been doing it for as long as I can remember. And it just seems that, especially now with the coronavirus, listen, let's hold the government of China accountable. They probably knew a lot of things that they're not telling, like most communist states. And this is where sort of the rubber meets the road. And listen, the president is doing as much as he can, so is the CDC. And again, it's unfortunate in terms of the casualties we've seen so far, but right now, I'm hoping that the president and his medical team, led by Vice President Pence, can at least do something to sort of thwart this spread.
I'm looking at this whole thing, and I think, what is there, like 85,000 cases worldwide? What's the number, Frankie? You know what the number is?
It's about 1,000 dead so far.
No, but 85, I think it's like 85,000 cases, and there's 3,000 deaths, okay? So that's like 4% of all the reported cases. They're saying there could be as much as 2 to 3 times that many people who are mildly affected right now. They don't know. So that divides the death ratio in 4, maybe. There's like a 1% of the people are actually dying. There's like, I think 40,000 people died from the flu, the regular flu in America. I don't know why they're blowing this up, Fernando.
Well, John, again, it's the typical hysteria that we see by the mainstream media. Listen, chaos creates headlines, volatility in the markets creates views and clicks online. And again, it's disappointing that we're sort of using this sort of hysteria to sort of be politically opportunistic. And we're seeing that from one side of the political aisle. And it's disgusting and it's reprehensible. But should it really surprise you from like today's American left?
Not really. Hey, in our last couple minutes here, I want to check in with you on this now. I know me and you have had a bunch of conversations over the last couple months about sanctuary cities and about issuing illegal aliens driver's license and all this crap. Trump and his administration came out with this policy where if you want to be a sanctuary city, then they're going to withhold federal funds. The libs and the left were suing them all the way up the chain. Now, I guess the courts are saying go for it, Donald. The court rules that Trump administration can, in fact, withhold funds from sanctuary cities. This is good news.
Absolutely. And what's interesting, though, John, the decision came from the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, which is right here in downtown Manhattan, and it's been a notoriously very liberal court. And for them to sort of side with the administration, because remember, again, in 2017, various states and New York City sued the federal government because of the fact that the federal government was going to be withholding over $250 million in Department of Justice grants that go to these states. And guess what? The Second Circuit Court of Appeals said the federal government can indeed withhold that. They're within their providence, and they have that legal precedent. And it's just astounding to me, though, John, that when I look at states like New Jersey, where I live, with Governor Murphy and Attorney General Gabriel Grewal, that they have this sort of insistence of placating their liberal base with accommodating illegals, and at the same time sort of trying to sort of appease a lot of the progressives there with these policies. And in the long game is they're hurting their states. I mean, we're looking at programs here in New Jersey or New York. That seems to be more important than funding these programs. And at the end of the day, it's taxpayers and citizens that bear the burden and subsequently bear the cost about what these disastrous policies represent.
He stole my line because I always say where the rubber meets the road, but he can use my line because he's one of my favorites. And this guy knows where the rubber meets the road on all fronts. New York, New Jersey, on the campus, in the streets. Even this weekend I saw you were in the club. Also, you had a little party this weekend.
I like to go out. I work hard, but I play hard.
There you go. And that's what we're doing here every day. And that's why we got great guests like this for you. We're going to take a quick break. Thank you, Fernando. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, John.
Quick break. Vera Gibbons is here. She's the founder and editor of Non-Political News. And Jordan Gelber's here. She's the CEO and founder of Star Baby Enterprises. More Liquid Lunch for you right after this.